You know when an AI just gets you? When it understands not just your words, but what you actually mean? Well, that's not magic. That's a quiet hero working behind the scenes called a vector database. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on this amazing piece of tech that's really truly powering the entire AI revolution.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to dig into the big data problem that AI faces. Then we'll see how vector databases swoop in to solve it. After that, we'll meet 3 of the top players in the game, put them head to head, and I promise, by the end of this, you'll know exactly which one is the right champion for your project. Okay, so let's get right to the heart of the matter. AI absolutely loves messy, complicated stuff. Text, images, audio. The problem is, our traditional databases, they were built for a super neat and tidy world of rows and columns. And that brings up the real question, doesn't it? How do we get an AI to understand the meaning, the context behind what we're saying, and not just the exact keywords we type in? How does it know that when you search for a smartphone, you're also looking for a cell phone or a mobile device? Here's a great way to think about it. A traditional database is like an old-school library card catalog. It's amazing if you know the exact title of the book you want. But modern AI, it needs to be more like a fantastic librarian, someone who gets what you're really interested in and can suggest other books you'll love, even if the titles are totally different. The secret sauce here, the magic trick, is something called vector embeddings. Just think of it like a universal translator for AI. You take any piece of data, a word, a picture, whatever, and an embedding model turns it into a list of numbers, like coordinates. These coordinates place it on this huge, multi-dimensional map. And on that map, things with similar meanings, like king and queen or puppy and kitten, end up being neighbors, mathematically close to each other. So cool, right? So, if these vector embeddings are the AI's new language, then it needs a special kind of library, a special home for all that knowledge. And that, my friends, is exactly what a vector database is. It's a purpose-built memory designed to store and search through this new language at lightning speed. And the way it works is actually pretty straightforward. First, you take all your data, your documents, your images, and you turn them into those vector embeddings. Second, you load them up and index them in the database. And finally, when someone asks a question, you just turn their query into a vector and tell the database, hey, go find me the closest matches. And this is the big payoff. This is where we move past simple keyword searching, which is just looking for exact matches, to what's called semantic search. This is where the AI isn't just looking for words anymore. It's searching for meaning. And that's a total game changer for finding stuff that's actually relevant. Okay, now that we know what these things do and why they're so important, let's meet 3 of the most popular vector databases out there. You'll see each one has its own kind of personality and is built for a different kind of job. First up is Chroma DB. I like to think of this one as the developer's best friend. It's the friendly, open source option that's super popular with folks who are just building stuff or getting started. Its biggest advantage is how simple it is to get going. It plays really nicely with tools developers already use, like LangChain, and it runs right on your own computer, which makes it super fast for testing things out. It's pretty much perfect for building quick prototypes and personal AI projects. Next, we have Pinecone. Now, if Chroma is that local workshop in your garage, Pinecone is the huge industrial-grade factory that's built to run 24/7. It's all about performance at a massive scale. The number one thing to know about Pinecone is that it's a fully managed service. And this is a huge deal. It means you don't have to worry about servers or what happens when you get a ton of traffic. Pinecone handles all of that for you. It's built for serious professional applications that need to be fast and reliable all the time. And finally, we have the Titan, FAISS. It actually stands for Facebook AI Similarity Search. This is the one for the experts, the raw engine for researchers who are really pushing the limits of what AI can do. Now, this is a really important point. FAISS is not a full database. It's a library. And what that means is you get total control and absolutely face-melting speed. It can use GPUs to search through billions with a B of vectors in a blink. It's the tool for experts who need every last drop of performance and are willing to build their own systems to get it. All right, time for the main event. Let's get these 3 in the ring, side by side, and see how they really compare on the things that matter most. So when you boil it all down, it's pretty clear. You've got Chroma, your super easy-to-use database for getting started. You've got Pinecone, your hassle-free managed service for when you go big. And then you've got FAISS, the high-performance library for when you need pure, raw speed. It all just depends on what you're trying to do. This chart just says it all, doesn't it? It shows the fundamental trade-off. Over on one side, you have FAISS, which gives you all the control in the world, but you have to do everything yourself. On the complete other end is Pinecone, which is all about convenience. It handles all the hard stuff for you. And Chroma? It sits right there in that sweet spot in the middle. So instead of trying to declare one single winner, let's think about this like you're hiring for your team. Depending on the job you need to get done, which of these champions are you going to call? And to figure that out, you really only need to ask yourself one question. What is the main goal of my project? Am I just playing around? Am I building a business? Or am I trying to do some groundbreaking research? If you're building a quick proof of concept, a little chatbot for fun, or just experimenting on your laptop, you hire Chroma DB. End of story. It is the absolute fastest way to go from idea to a working app with basically zero headaches. But when you're ready to launch a real-world application, one that needs to be reliable, secure, and ready to handle tons of users, that's when you bring in the pro. You hire Pinecone. It lets you focus on building a great product, not on managing a database. And finally, if your one and only goal is pure, blazing fast speed for a massive research project, and you've got the skills to manage the tech yourself, then you call in the specialist. You hire FAISS. It is simply unbeatable when raw performance is all that matters. Look, at the end of the day, vector databases are a fundamental shift in how we find and interact with information. We're going from a world of finding what we type to a world of finding what we mean. And that leaves us with a really exciting question, doesn't it? Now that our machines can finally search by meaning, what brand new questions are we going to be able to ask?